What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 166 of the Rise of a Nation. And today we have our first ever World Cup qualifying game, and to be honest, I'm pretty excited to get into this. We are in Group 6, we've got Albania, Estonia, Italy and Sweden. We are at home for this opening game, and I'm just excited to get into a World Cup match. It's an exciting landmark, I guess, to hit in this save in a lot of ways. And now Marley, clean through. Can he pull it back? He can. They hit the woodwork. Graffiti, fantastic tackle there by him. And, well, half-time, it's okay. We're struggling to get shots away. Mosca is struggling. We need to win this game. Bay, Mosca, please finish that. He does finish it. It's taken a minute and a half into the second half. And, well, Mosca with his 10th goal for the national team. And, well, it looks like for us here, we're going to start our campaign with a winning start. Annabel Perez with the Man of the Match award. Mosca getting that goal, which made the difference. It was a tight game, but we took the opportunities that came our way. In the off-season, we beat Estonia 1-0, which was an okay result, Mosca with a goal. And then we beat Estonia again at home 2-1. Let's take a look at our league and our group and kind of how things are shaping up. And, well, we're in second, and we have a game in hand. Really, a win here puts us in such a fantastic position. Of course, the Italy game to proceed, this is equally as big, really. Mosca to Bay. That is a lovely goal. It's 1-0 here. We take the lead. I mean, there's options on ahead here. Jason Hall to Ethan Brunt. The ball in. Mosca. That is exceptional football. Unfortunately for us, the flag is raised. Bringing the ball forward. Nilsson tries to bring it out wide. He does. And Salas gives away a penalty. That is not what we wanted to do. Salas has been given a second yellow and the same highlight for abusing the ref. He clearly didn't think it was a penalty, did he? He now needs Salcedo to come big if he can on the penalty, but we're down a man. And perhaps a goal is going to be the least of our worries. Nilsson scores it. Sweden now with an extra man here, and they're making it count. Holmqvist finishes it, and it's well, it's 2-1 Sweden now. Italy won their game, so that gives them a good opportunity to kind of catch up with us. Of course, the next game for us is going to be against Italy. Following on from our first defeat in the World Cup qualifiers, we kind of want to bounce back immediately if we can, albeit against one of the best teams in the league. But we give away a penalty in the first 2 minutes. I don't feel like there's a lot as a manager you can do to stop penalties. It's down the middle again. It's Tortora, Galuzzo to Lacava to Tortora, Lombardi. It's a nice goal for Italy. Look here, but we're on the attack. Mosca, Henny the sub. Can he score? Well, that's why we brought him on. Game changer, Steve Henny. And they're already going to be kind of in established positions to stop the crosses, he says, as the cross finds its way into the box. I mean, we've got one goal. We might have a chance here. Mosca, Henny again. Why not? I'm lost for words. I can't even get my words out. That looked offside. It's not offside. Daniele Russo makes it 4-2. We just have no one back, and Russo scores again. Basically the best player in the world, or one of the best players in the world. And, well, he's put us to the sword here, as he did in a Champions League final once upon a time. A memory which, in my mind, I've tried to block out. You know, I've held it counselling for it. I don't want to remember that Real Madrid. I remembered. What a weird game of football this has been. Unfortunately, that result does see Italy with a chance to leapfrog us. And this is our last two fixtures of the qualifying campaign. In terms of where we are, we're in second. As you can see, we're 3 points behind Sweden, who we have in the opening game of today's episode. So really, we need to beat Sweden in this first episode, and then we just have to get a draw against Italy in the second game, and that would be enough. Player to be wary of us. Holmqvist has a chance. He has a goal to his name as well. Sweden strike first here. We drop down to third. We're on the attack here. Mosca, Brunt at the edge of the box. Perez! Ludwig Young, you've bottled it, son, but I don't care. It's 1-1. Mosca, please finish that. Mosca, oh, you've got to bury that. 8 minutes left. We need another goal, don't we? How do I want to change this? I've got to commit men forward now. That's the kind of issue I've got here. It's a bit of a risk, but we need something to happen. Now there's 2 minutes left. Time ticking away. There might be one last chance for either team. Nice tackle by Salas. Can we counter now? We have men up here. Perez. Fred through Bay. Go on, Bay. You've got to score. Come on, please. Yes, let's go! It's 2-1. Damien Bay has just scored a goal with a minute and a half left that gives us a chance at the World Cup. This is a big game. I'm excited. A draw good enough. A win good enough. Really, I just want a competitive game here against Italy. And don't let him get the ball into the box either. He does get it, and Russo's there. And it's Daniele Russo with the assist. 23 minutes gone. Italy have had chances. We've had chances too, but it is first blood to them. As long as the game remains 1-0, we've got a chance. The thing to note is obviously that there is a point at which we have got to go on the attack. We have got to throw a few men forward and try and make something happen. Either way, we have the ball here. Bay up to Perez. Can he thread through Mosca? Mosca, can he turn his man? Options in the middle. Can he cross it? He can. Perez is there. Let's go. It's 1-1. Hannibal Perez, he is dead. He can barely walk, but he's got a goal for us. Don't turn into trouble, whatever you do, Modesto. He finds a little bit of space. Can he get in a ball? He can. Whipped in. Bay with the rebound. It's 2-1. We're fighting back. We're 2-1 up against Italy. We've been on top in this game. We've had more chances, more shots, and now it shows. And the time has just continued. We've done it. What is this? What has just happened? We've won. We were the better team. We're going to a World Cup. What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 181 of The Rise of a Nation. And today, it's the World Cup, and I am really excited to get into this. It's Group G. It's our opening game. We're playing South Africa. Hopefully you enjoyed the little kind of montage just to open up today's episode. Just something I kind of threw together real quick. Hopefully to get you hyped for today. It's just going to be the one game in this live com. But it's a big one. But to start things off, I do want to just talk a little bit about our pre-World Cup prep. Because, well, there's been a little bit of that, obviously. Going into this competition, we had a few friendlies. And they were against the Ivory Coast and the USA. And as you can see, we didn't do too bad in them. The first game we drew against the Ivory Coast, a game which was very, very 50-50. Ultimately, a Salcedo own goal was what gave Ivory Coast the draw. Really impressed by Mosca in this game, played very, very well, and it was good to go toe-to-toe, really, with one of Africa's greats. In our next game, it was a 2-2 draw against the USA. Another fairly good result, to be fair. As you can see, Mosca grabbing a brace, Dern grabbing a brace for them. It finished 2-2. Mosca with a goal in the 9th and 90th minute. Of course, great to see him really coming into goal-scoring form because he is going to be absolutely kind of crucial, I guess, this year to our success in the World Cup. Anyway, here's the man of the moment. 21 goals in 23 games. One of the players actually tipped to be an influential figure in the World Cup. I heard his name being thrown around with the Golden Boot Award in a kind of email message here when they were talking about the different kind of players to keep an eye out on going into the World Cup. It's worth noting Gerrard was another one of those names. As you can see here, a former Gibraltar international said he believes that our key players will be vital when we play South Africa, and it's going to be down to those key players really to make a difference for us. Mosca really being picked out as the man of the moment. But anyway, here is our World Cup squad. I'm going to go through all of these players, kind of just in no particular order, basically by position, give you guys an idea of who to keep an eye out on, what to expect, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm really, really excited. I feel like it's good to give you guys an overview of the squad, just so you kind of know what's what, really. So anyway, goalkeeper, Alberto Romero, one of the long-term serving goalkeepers, obviously recently joined Gibraltar Apex this season, just to prevent him from retiring. At 35, he's an experienced goalkeeper, probably our second choice, though we have got a new up-and-coming youngster option alongside Salcedo to compete in the goalkeeper spot, but a good player to have, lots of experience, 88 international caps. Of course, the next player we have, Francisco Salcedo, 25 years old, an incredible goalkeeper, had a great year at club level for College Europa. As you can see, kept 11 clean sheets in 25 games. That is nothing to be scoffed at. And the final goalkeeper we have is Matthew Oliver, who is a 23-year-old, very young, a player who I don't think he has too much of a long-term future necessarily as our kind of future kind of number one, but as a backup goalkeeper, he's a very useful player, 23, homegrown as well, which is always nice. And as you can see here, he actually developed originally at Manchester 62. Anyway, moving on to the defence, we start off with a player who actually used to play for Manchester 62, made the move to Gibraltar Phoenix, and that is Bulat, who started off, of course, playing for the Federation of Australia's football kind of school. We signed him on a free for Gibraltar Apex. Never made an impact for us. He went on to Manchester 62 for 16k, and he's made a few moves since then. Of course, he acquired a Gibraltarian nationality in that time, and he has made 12 appearances for the national side at the age of 27. Anyway, the next player we have, Grafite, 30 years old, former Brazilian, a player we know a lot about, one of many versatile wing-backs we have in this side, a full-back who can play either side. Always useful, that. Really excited to have him with us. The next player we have, another 35-year-old, another one of the old uns, and it's, well, the Ginger Ninja. It's Danny Evans. Definitely not the player he once was, but some vital experience, a very determined player, obviously a veteran centre-back, can also play centre-mid and right-mid, so there's a degree of flexibility there, although really he is in this squad to offer that experience that 92 caps kind of provides him with. Anyway, the next player we have one of our fullbacks who will almost definitely be starting as many games as possible, that being Jose Luis Salas, the Mexican. 27 years old, obviously, an absolutely incredible player for us. Really hoping that he can step up to the plate and give some big performances as one of our kind of big key men. Anyway, the next player we have is Yves Frigier, 34 years old, a good player, experienced, of course, originally French, came to Gibraltar much like a few of our players, made an impact, and hopefully, he can do something for us when we need him to. Anyway, the next player we have, of course, a Gibraltar Apex player, the national team captain. It's Gary Horst, an outstanding defender with a crunching tackle, great determination, good leadership, obviously very, very commanding. Kind of what would I call him? He is the bedrock of our defence. He's the man that everything kind of revolves around, and I'm very excited to obviously have him fully fit and ready and raring to go in the World Cup. The next player we have, another one of our centre-backs who started with us. You may notice an abundance of centre-backs. With us looking like we are going to play the 5 at the back system fairly often, I felt like that was fairly necessary to have. And Camilo Castano, another centre-back we have, a younger one as well at 25. Very good in the air, fairly determined, a little bit limited in terms of how he can play, but he does have 13 passing and 12 vision. So when he is on the ball, he's fairly comfortable with it. And when we need him to, hopefully he can really step up to the big occasion. Anyway, the last of our fullbacks we have here is Modesto. Very good player, 30 years old. He's got glasses. What more is there to say? Plays for Levante. A good player. I realised I missed out 2 players. So really quickly, Jason Hall, veteran fullback, can play either side. And Graffiti number 2, Graf Wright, who will, for the most part for us, actually be playing at centre mid this year. I don't know how I missed them out. I feel like Danny Evans just caught my eye. But they make up our kind of defensive bedrock. Anyway, moving on to the midfield, perhaps the weakest area in the team. We have here Anthony Senna, 13 caps, 25 years old, currently plays for Cannons, a player who originally generated at us, as you can see here. Never made many appearances. In fact, he didn't make any first-team appearances in 5 years. He's had a few moves here and there. Spent the last year in Cannons playing for the kind of Primera Division team. Had a fairly good year all in all as well. The next player we have, Ollie Osborne, a similar kind of mould of player, 24 years old. He's a good defender, good centre mid, but I don't really want to have to play him unless I absolutely kind of have to. As you can see here, a player who generated at Lincoln Red Imps, went on loan to their kind of junior side, made the switch on a free transfer to College Europa, made a few appearances there, and over the last few years he's made regular switches between Primera Division sides, frequently getting first team football. The next player we have, Damien Ferrari, or Ferrari. I'm calling him Ferrari now, even though that's not how to actually say his name because I can't read. But he's 21 years old, this guy. Fantastic centre mid. Currently plays for Glasgow United. Had a decent season there, of course, at 21. He's got a little bit of potential about him. I'm hoping he can kind of step up when we need him to. And he's a more than capable centre midfielder in the side. Anyway, the next player we have, a shock inclusion really, Daniel Bird. The only really kind of reason I brought him in is because he can play out on the left and we don't have any other left midfielders. I feel like his pace might trouble a few teams, particularly that acceleration. As you can see, technically, mentally, not particularly gifted. But if we need an option out wide, if we want to stretch teams wide, he is an option there. And I felt that was kind of vital to have in the squad. Anyway, 2 more players, 2 talented players as well. Benjamin Williams, a very good player with the ball at his feet. Unfortunately, his physicals have pretty much died now at the age of 34. 50 caps he's had though. As you can see, a bit of an odd career in a lot of ways. Spent a long time at ourselves, never really making any appearances. Gone on to play in Croatia for a number of clubs. And, well, he's continued to find clubs now. He's continued to play reasonably well. And actually, his most recent season was his best for a few years now. And at 34... a player who might be able to come on and be a bit of a creative force if we need him to be. Anyway, now we get on to some of the more exciting players. Anibal Perez, the first of them, the 31-year-old advanced playmaker. Probably only got one more international tournament in him, to be honest, but a very good player, experienced, 54 caps, great playmaking potential, very good physicals as well. We then have Steve Henney, another very, very experienced player, and in fact the most capped player in the Gibraltar national team right now. He's 105 caps, he's 30 years old, very good player, playing for Hamburg in Germany. And he's a good attacking threat, but with the emergence of Bay and Mosca, he has kind of lost his place in the first team. Speaking of the devil, we have Bay here, whose goals were absolutely vital in, of course, getting us to this World Cup. Been a fantastic player, 51 caps, 23 goals. He's 30 years old, but he's probably got 2 international tournaments left in him. As you can see here, he's been playing for Atalanta in Serie B this year. He got 11 goals in 29 games, and he has a fairly good goal-scoring record at that level. And I'm hoping that, obviously, some of the goals that he scored in the qualifiers will translate over into the main World Cup tournament itself. Anyway, perhaps the player with the most pressure on his shoulders, and perhaps, I want to say the expectations, but then there aren't really that many expectations on the side. But if there were any, they'd be lying on this man's shoulders. It's Mosca. 21 goals in 23 appearances for Gibraltar. Obviously, an absolutely talismanic striker at Gibraltar Apex, a player who I'm delighted took up Gibraltarian nationality. And I'm really excited to see how this guy gets on. I don't know what to expect from him. Of course, 2 years ago now, he had that absolutely horrible, kind of wretched injury. I think it was a leg break, if I remember correctly. In fact, no, I've lied. It was damaged cruciate ligaments, which is actually probably worse, in all honesty. 8 months he spent out. He's bounced back well. He's had a few little injuries throughout that time over the last 2 years. But to be honest, nothing that is too concerning, I guess, going into this tournament, which is always good. The last player we have, a player who only recently made his kind of debut for the side, perhaps the Rashford of our Gibraltar side, if you could call him that. He has 1 cap. It's Aaron Buttigieg. That's probably not how he says now. I'm going to call him Aaron. We'll do that. He's a very good striker, though, for a homegrown player especially. As you can see, he's very young. He generated it ourselves. He's been on loan at Lynx for the last 2 years. Not scored a whole lot of goals for them, but he's very good in the air. He's got good finishing as well. And if we need a last roll of the dice, we need someone to punt the ball up to, he might be an option there. So I do think it becomes quite apparent, I guess, when we go for this side. We are lacking strength in depth for a World Cup campaign, but I do feel like our core side is good enough to really struggle and, you know, kind of cause teams some discomfort. I do need to quickly sort out my team here. Unfortunately, Camilo Castano in need of a rest before the start of the tournament, which isn't great. I am, as a result, going to leave him out and bring in Bulat in for today's game, and I think we're going to play him at right centre-back. Play Gary Horst right in the centre. Of course, we are going to play our 5 at the back system. But no, I think this is pretty much the team that I want to go with. So if we just take a real quick look at it, you can see Salcedo in goal, of course. Salas, his Mexican compadre, at left-back. Centre-back position, we have Frigier, Horst and Bulat. Expect to see kind of Camilo Castano come in there and play alongside Horst and Frigier more often than not. Although Frigier, being as old as he is, might struggle a little bit with fitness. Out in the right-back position, we're going with Graffite. Of course, left-footed, not ideal, but we've dealt with it at club level with Cabasele on the opposite side. I'm hoping he can do the job for us regardless. Centre defence in mid, we go with Graf right. In the centre mid positions, we go with Foray at centre mid attack. The 21-year-old, you know, inexperienced in a lot of ways, but hoping he can come good for us. Anibal Perez at advanced playmaker. And our 2 strikers for today's game, it's going to be Mosca and it's going to be Bay. And, well, hopefully they can live up to expectations that I and the rest of the nation have on them. So anyway, a quick reminder of our World Cup group. We have Jamaica, South Africa and Belgium. The first game today is against South Africa, a team who I'm surprised got this far, but they do have some good players, and I was having a look kind of through their team. They're not a team that I can afford to underestimate by any means. They have some very good strikers particularly, which we are going to have to be wary of, but I'm hopeful that, you know, given how well we performed to get to this stage, we can just kind of maintain a similar level of performance. I think Malanga for them is probably their best player here. The Frankfurt striker, very pacey, similar to Mosca in a lot of ways, but not quite as good as Mosca, of course. But no, as you can see here, South Africa ranked 34th in the world. We ourselves are ranked 30th, so we are not really the favourites necessarily, but the team with the higher ranking going into this. So by no means underdogs. You can see they're looking like they might play a narrow 4-3-3. As a result, we are going to be playing this system here. It's the 5 at the back system. It's kind of worked for us well. In terms of player fitness, just a few players to be aware of. Graffite or Graf right, the centre mid, Graffite, struggling a little bit with fitness, as is Bay. We've got a few options there, but with their condition above 90, it's not too concerning. There are a few players lacking match fitness, and if you've ever managed in national tournaments, you'll know that players get tired pretty quickly due to the frequency of the games. With us being in Group G, it has meant our games have been a little bit later, and the tournament, you know, has been going for pretty much a week as we play our first game, which is kind of nice. But it is going to be interesting to see how we kind of deal with, you know, the stresses of international football, of course. We're really just trying to be competitive in the group. If we can go through, fantastic, but you'd think that we would have to beat both South Africa and Jamaica to really stand a chance. Looking at South Africa here, they're actually playing a 4-2-3-1, which is narrow. It's not a system I've played before with this 5 at the back system. It's not a system, to be honest, I've played too frequently in FM. I don't know why I asked my assistant to take the team talk there. I'm going to hijack that right now because Tristan Sargent has kind of screwed it up. But no, it's okay. We've recovered it. We're underdogs. We go into a World Cup. I'm just excited to be here, to be honest. Obviously, we've flown to Canada, the land of Joe Bouchard. And, well, I'm hoping that we can have a tournament to remember, I guess. But it's not going to be easy for us, and we're aware of that. We've really got to step up to the plate. It's not about making up the numbers being at this World Cup. It's about trying to push on again. In reality, I'm not going to get many, if any, more chances at a World Cup as Gibraltar manager. Because of FM17 coming. I want to make the most of this opportunity here. And we are on the attack. Mosca! He's scored. It's offside. It's offside. Sit down. Sit down. I did the fist bump. I got carried away, okay? Oh, 3 minutes gone. It would have been the dream start. Win that in the air. Okay, if they score immediately now, I'm going to feel a little hard done by. Are we on extended highlights from the Champions League? We are. Let's change that right now. And what should we put that on? I guess we'll put it on... not full, key. There we go. Does that mean I played extended for the last game of the season against Manchester 62 and didn't realise? Must be. That's awkward. Anyway, let's play this game. South Africa with the first shot and the first half chance of the game. You saw it there. I'm a little bit disappointed about that goal that was disallowed. Looking at the stats, South Africa having a lot more shots and a lot more chances, but not having more possession. What the team coming forward? Perez with the header. It was tipped wide. Half an hour gone. First shot gone our way. We now have a corner. Can we whip it in? We can. Near post. Cleared away. Interesting stuff. South Africa, only the one shot on target, but by far and away the most shots out of the two teams. But that said, they're struggling to hold on to the ball a little bit, which is a little bit unexpected, I guess, with the system that we're playing. And we are now starting to grow into this game. We are having a few chances of our own, which is always good to see. That said, half-time, 0-0. I'm going to tell the boys they've been unlucky so far. I want to continue to motivate them if I can. I'm now also going to tell them, you know, I do expect a little bit more from you boys. You know, there's a degree of expectation I feel here. And I'm going to be piling it onto the team here. I expect them to step it up just a little bit in this second half. And, well, it's not going to come straight from kickoff. Salas there. Little bit lacking with the final touch. Looking at the stats, this is a really tight game. We are being extremely competitive, which is all I can really ask for. In terms of fitness, no players struggling too much. That said, South Africa on the attack here. We need to stop the ball coming into the box. We don't do that. The ball in. They hit the woodwork. Annabel Perez scrambles it clear. Well, that was a good chance for South Africa. Salcedo, nice stop there by him in goal. In terms of the team, Mosca a little bit absent. Bay's struggling as well, as is our midfield. They've got a lot of ground to cover today, but we have got the ball here. Salas, go on. Inside to Annabel Perez. He can pick out a pass. Can he pick one out now? Inside to Ferre, who passes it to Graf Right, or Graffite. That's the wrong Graffite. I've just poked my monitor. I don't care. Bay scores. Let's go. Graf Right. It's not Graf Right, it's Graf Left, but he's playing on the right. It's so confusing. Why did I sign two players with the same name, and why did they both take up nationality? Whose idea was this? It's a quality little ball by him. Of course, cutting onto that left foot of his because he doesn't have a right foot playing on the wrong wing. And Bay just sweeps home the volley. What a finish that was. I mean, he's turned up big when we needed him to, Bay. Can't complain one little bit. 23 minutes left. We're on the attack again. Bay. Can he get another assist? Perez. Ferre. Mosca. Bury that. Salas. Oh, what a team goal that is. Passed across the entirety of the South Africa back four. And to be honest, we've not had any clear-cut chances, but neither of South Africa. They've only had the one shot on target. But the chances that have come our way, we've taken, and it's an unlikely goal scorer. It's Salas, the left-back. Take a bow. Take a bow. What a goal that is. Unbelievable. We do need to kind of stay switched on, he says, as they concede immediately. 2 goals clear. I was feeling calm. I mean, it's taken a minute and a half. It's a set piece. Salcedo, where are you going? What was that? Where did you think the ball was going? Not good. Right. I'm going to switch to more defensive now, and I'm also going to tell the players to waste more time. I could probably do with making a few subs as well. Our players getting a little bit tired in the midfield. Graffite or Graphite struggling a lot. I'm going to bring in Danny Evans to play there. Foray struggling a lot too. We'll bring in Benjamin Williams for him. Elsewhere on the team, we're not struggling too much at the moment. Bay, perhaps a little bit, but I do want to hold on to that last sub for now. It's a little bit of a risk switching up our midfield like this because our midfield does take a bit of a hammering from rotation like this. It's a big step down the quality between our subs and our starters, but we need fresh legs on there in this kind of game. They're going to be tested a lot. 5 minutes left. We're still 2-1 up. South Africa, another set piece of them. Can we deal with it? Long shot, deflected. It's offside. A disallowed goal. Oh my gosh. Switch to contain. 3 minutes. Park the bus. That's all we have to do. Right, time-wasting sub now. Bay, come off. Steve Henney, come on. For his 106th cap with just 2 minutes left. 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. They're not going to score. They can't. They're not going to. Panic over. That was... I could feel a sweat coming on. That's how tense it is. We're going to win 2-1. Moscow wants a goal. He's not going to get it. The ball gets cleared away there. That's got to be full time. Surely. Blow the... If they score now, I'll be livid. It goes over. Blimey. That was a deep breath in there as the ball went sailing over. What a result that is. Graffite, the left back, an 8.6 by him. An assist, a key assist as well. Salas with a lovely goal. Moscow with an assist to his name too. It's a great start to our World Cup campaign. It's a win against a team we are expected to beat. We'll just continue once more to see how Belgium get on. With these World Cup games, it is going to be worth noting, I am going to do them all as their own separate games. And the reason for that being is, we've worked so hard to get to a World Cup. I want to savour each game individually. I don't want it to be 2 episodes and it's over if we go out in the group stage. That's just, it'd be so underwhelming. It would be so anticlimactic. In the other game, I think I just saw Belgium. Yeah, Belgium, and they beat Jamaica 4-0, and it was Duz and Girard with the goals. Our next game is against Jamaica, so hopefully we can kind of take advantage of a wounded animal there and just kind of beat them. That'd be the ideal scenario. Of course, going into that last game against Belgium, we do not want to be in a situation where we need a win or a point, because Girard and Duz are going to just tear us a new one. But all in all, very, very happy with that opening game. Couldn't have asked for a better performance. 2 goals is always good to score when you are considered a little bit of an underdog and you are playing a counter-attacking system. That said, we had more possession. South Africa had just the 2 shots on target. And I think 7 of their shots came in the kind of first 30-odd minutes. They didn't create a lot, really. The set-piece goal, I know they had the goal disallowed for being offside, but that was another set-piece opportunity. That's perhaps something we do need to keep an eye on, of course, going forward, set-pieces. Anyway, our next game is, as I already mentioned, going to be against Jamaica. If we look at them, they are 45th in the FIFA World Rankings, which is lower than both ourselves and South Africa, so I'm hoping we can just get a good result there. They're not going to be easy. You can see they've had a real resurgence in recent years, similar to us in a lot of ways. They dropped as low as 84th in the world rankings 2 years ago, which would have been bitterly disappointing. Jamaica perhaps have a little bit of a point to prove, particularly having just lost 4-0. But anyway, guys, hopefully you did enjoy today's episode. If you did, a like would be super appreciated. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, thank you so much for watching as always. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.